Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to talk about this report. According to Sports New York, Ian Begley's saying that the Denver Nuggets are allegedly fans of Chris Boucher, who's on the Toronto Raptors. So I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you guys think this is the right move? If it is a move that the Nuggets could do, I personally think that out of all the ones that have been floated out there, this seems like the most realistic. They're trying to get off of Zeke Nanji's contract. You're looking for a team that's rebuilding who have some interest in it, as they could maybe view it as a reclamation project, and you're looking for someone to give you depth. What type of depth? Defense and some floor spacing. Who does it better than Chris Boucher? And especially with Dario Saric underperforming, like we thought we were going to get Oklahoma City Thunder Dario Saric. We did not. So let's just get right into it. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you guys agree with the trade proposal I floated on the screen that you guys see? Or which basically would be Zeke, and they would have to attach in this deal to make this deal go through. They would have to attach, even if they try to trade Zeke Nanji with the mid-level non-taxpayer mid-level exception, it still wouldn't be enough to cover like tax reasons. So what they would have to do is Vlatko Chanchar, who's making $2 million expiring, and their second round pick in 2028 with Zeke Nanji, who has 3 years remaining, $23 million, about 8.8 a year for Chris Boucher. And it actually works because in this deal, I think a team like the Nuggets, it's a $166,000 cap difference. And yes, this move does make Denver go into the second apron, which, like, they would have to change that up, as I think that's the biggest thing for them is if they did do a move, clearly they would have to cut somebody to get under the second apron to do this. So I think in overall, the Raptors would gain a young switch big who could be a power forward center in Zeke Nanji. They can cut the expiring contract of Vlatko Chanchar, and they get a second round pick, while the Nuggets get a switch big who can play both the 4 and the 5 in Chris Boucher. And both teams are obviously going to have to navigate the hard cap restrictions more. So the Denver Nuggets, I think, would be more affected, meaning that they would have to cut somebody to get them under the apron or attach somebody else in the trade. However, I think Chris Boucher fits well into Michael Malone's style of coaching, and the current rotation that the Nuggets are imploring. I think they'd be enthralled to get somebody like Chris Boucher on this team, especially with his versatility to play multiple positions, to stretch the floor, and to not only be able to play off of Jokić, but be a guy who can come in for Jokić. As he's always been, Chris Boucher is a really good shot blocker. And I know this season, he's only playing 17 minutes a night, but he's averaging just under a block a game. He's almost 6'10" with like a 7-foot plus wingspan. And he's a really good contester of shots. And in the minutes he plays, he does a good job of protecting the rim. Denver defense ranks 7th worst in blocks per game with 4.7, which shows that they need someone to help protect the rim. And Chris Boucher's ability to disrupt shots complements Michael Malone's emphasis on high-effort defensive schemes, especially when anchoring the second unit. Or if they're having a bad defensive game, they can put out Christian Brown, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Chris Boucher, and Nikola Jokić, or put Jokić down and have Aaron Gordon out there, or run an Aaron Gordon, Chris Boucher, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Nikola Jokić lineup. And then offensively, as I've said, he brings a really efficient shot selection. His diet for scoring is either dunks or 3-point shots. His guy is averaging 10 points, 34% from 3, and that's pretty solid from a forward center who's been a historic role player. So, or not historic role, like historically has been a role player. People also forget Chris Boucher had that one season where he actually made a run as a 6-man of the year candidate. And the floor spacing ability is going to pair well with Nikola Jokić and Jamal Murray. and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, as he's able to not only be a guy who's going to stand at the three-point line, but he can create additional passing lanes, and as a guy who's going to be slashing, cutting toward the basket off of flare screens or backdoor cuts. So I think a team that actually ranks 30th in three-point attempts, 31.3, is going to love having someone as willing of a shooter as Chris Boucher. Now, I think the motor is another thing that they would like. A guy like Chris Boucher, who in just 17 minutes a night's grabbing just under 2 offensive rebounds a night, which would give the Nuggets a guy who's going to create second chance opportunities. And his 4.5 rebounds a game is going to bolster a Denver team that ranks 12th in defensive rebounds, or specifically 34.3. And he's going to benefit the second unit as being this energy hustle player that aligns with Malone's preference for effort-driven players. And in the current rotation, Boucher would likely slot in as the backup role behind Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. And then depending on the matchup, he would be the small ball backup 5 if they're playing a smaller team and they don't want DeAndre Jordan to go out there and they're like, hey, DJ, just rest tonight. They'll put Chris Boucher out there. And his expiring contract also offers flexibility, allowing Denver to balance short-term cap flexibility with, future cap space. So the other thing is, people don't realize, Chris Boucher won a championship with the Raptors, but he also won with the Warriors. So he's just going to bring championship pedigree and a veteran experience that they definitely would like from a veteran. So I think Chris Boucher, if it's true that the Denver Nuggets are fans of him, he fits perfectly into Mike Malone's system. He's going to enhance Denver's defensive versatility, rebounding, and space the floor. He's going to strengthen their bench, address their gaps in shooting and, blocks and rebounding, while also being able to make the impact that they were hoping Dario Saric would make this offseason. So, yeah, it's the other guy that they could trade if they don't want to trade Vlatko Cancar is Dario Saric. Okay, Dario, from my understanding, the 3 guys most likely to be traded on the Denver Nuggets goes Zeke Nnaji. I know Vlatko Cancar is beloved by the Denver Nuggets, and I know he's good friends with Jokić, so there is that. But I'm also pretty sure Saric is good friends. I think personally, they would at this point rather trade Saric. They could rather trade Saric because they want to get off his money more desperately, and they would be like, yeah, we'll just keep that Cancar. Because I also think did they get a DPE, a disabled player exception for Vlatko? Because I know he's out with the same knee injury from last year. It seems like his knee just didn't heal the way that they thought it would, and as a result, he's not playing. So I want to hear your guys' opinion. If you're the Denver Nuggets, what do you guys think would be a better deal? Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting one. Yeah, 8 weeks because he's dealing with the knee again. Yeah, he had the same knee. It's unfortunate. All right, I'm done.